Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Now you would think that Donald Trump is campaigning for Whiner in chief. I mean, the guy hasn't stopped whining since his presidential run began. Everybody's being mean to him. Everybody is treating him unfairly. I hope that the rest of the country gets as sick of hearing this pussy whine as I am. In a move calculated to get as much publicity as possible, Trump skipped a Fox News debate and held a fundraiser for veterans. A noble cause, but only if you're not using them as pawns to make yourself look better. And he got a lot of publicity for it, but along with the publicity came a certain amount of scrutiny, which Trump didn't like that. The press kept asking him, what happened to the money? None of the veterans groups had gotten it. So last week, Trump held a press conference, went after the media for asking him those perfectly legitimate questions. And it turns out that Trump only sent out any checks to the veterans groups the day after the Washington Post published an article reporting that the veteran groups had not gotten the money that was promised them. And it seems to me that without the pressure from the press, they'd still be waiting. Trump has also been whining about a judge, federal judge Gonzalo Curiel, who is hearing the lawsuit against Trump for his university scam. So after repeated criticism of the judge decided to set the record straight. And he unsealed the court records, released all the documents, something that Trump really didn't want to have happen. So here's how the Trump university scam works. It began with a free seminar whose purpose was to get attendees to pay $1,500 for a 2 or 3 day seminar, whose purpose was to get them to pay $35,000 for a mentorship, whether they could afford it or not. And the mentorship's purpose was to get you to spend even more money. Recruiters and mentors were not even trained in real estate. They were trained in high-pressure sales tactics. A fellow by the name of Ronald Schnackenberg was a former sales manager at Trump U, and he testified not a single consumer went on to successfully invest in real estate based on what we taught there. Another fellow by the name of Jason Nicholas, a former sales executive at Trump U, said the Trump University instructors and mentors were a joke. It was a total lie. Trump claimed that he had handpicked his instructors, but the curriculum came from the same people who do those famous timeshare seminars. You've probably gotten stuff in the mail to come attend one of those. Trump promised that the attendees, I can't use the word students because Trump University did not use the word students. There were a number of other terms for them. They didn't actually use the word sucker, but it's pretty obvious that that's what they thought of them. So Trump's so-called professors and adjunct professors were actually not. Matter of fact, many of them had no background in real estate whatsoever. So, for example, somebody would finish up the $1,500 seminar, they'd sign up for the $35,000 mentorship, and then they would ask the mentor to help them work a real estate deal. And the mentors would decline to do it either because they couldn't or maybe because they just wouldn't. But they didn't help them with their deals. So now people are suing. They didn't get what they were promised, and they're suing. And I have a hard time feeling sympathetic for these people. I mean, let's face it. They were suckers. Anybody who gave their money to Trump was a sucker. But if you give them your vote, you're an even bigger sucker. Thanks for listening.